Hello everyone. So today I have an extremely interesting piece of retro tech with me. So this is the R36S gaming console. It sells by various names by different importers across the globe, but it's basically a Linux-based system which emulates almost all the retro gaming consoles up to PlayStation. So it comes in a wide range of colors. In my case, I got the white variant and it cost me somewhere around 3500 rupees on Flipkart. So there are multiple other similar systems available, R35S, and there are some other options that I saw. Most of them do the basic emulation of the games. And while I do the unboxing and show the product around, let me just take you down the memory lane to my memories of where the first experience with a gaming console was like. So it was, I think, back in the year 2002 or 2003. I was probably in class 6 or 6th, 5th or 6th, right? So there was one fine evening, one of my cousin came to our house and I said that this grand gaming parlor has opened somewhere in the town and we need to pay just like 10 rupees for half an hour and then we can play these great games on the TV. So that was Super Mario, by the way, and the gaming system. I think the basic, what is it called? NES? Yeah, probably that. So a gaming parlor had opened. They had just one CRT TV along with that gaming system, and people would pay and play. So that was my first experience with a gaming console. Now let's flash back to 2025. So the Western folks, I mean Western kids, when they grow up, they now that I know that all these gaming systems existed, now I know, right, the kind of progression that consoles have made over that period of 20-25 years. I mean, I can only feel the way these kids in those countries would have felt when they got one new system after another. In our case, I also got that NES system when my father once went to Delhi for meeting one of my uncles, and he got us so many gifts. When one was that gaming system, and Super Mario being the one present there. And then those 99999 unlimited number of games in a single yellow cassette that would come with the device. So this is the basic interface of R36S, and here you can see it comes with this great system theme and you can scroll around all the various emulators present. So here you can see system 1, system 2, so game Capcom Play System 3, and PC Engine, and then you have the Famicom disk system. So all these are the various gaming consoles that have existed, let's say, till the time the PlayStation came around. There you have the NES system, right? Again, this is the one that almost all of us are aware and would have played some game or the other at some point of time, right? Then you have the Game Boy, the black and white variant, right? You have Super Famicom. I am quoting these names. I'm just looking at the screen and the console, and I'm just calling these out. And you have the Super Nintendo. There you see Mario and the Queen, right? The princess. So, and all these consoles also, I mean, emulators also come with a respective set of games. So in all, if I can check, there are over like 15,000 different games available in the system. There again, you see Nintendo 64, you have Game Boy Color. Again, all these emulators come with a set of gaming ROMs already preloaded into the memory card, right? You also have the Nintendo DS. Just the options are endless. So when I look at these, I mean, the way technology has progressed, I don't think I'll ever be able to open each of these games and just to even try it out. Right, 15,000 games. When do I even get the time to check all these out? But just imagine these games came out over a period of like 25, 30 years or more than that. I think it's I mean, much more than that, right? 40 odd years. And so there was sufficient gap between each game coming out. So kids who have grown over these period, they would have had the time to play through each one of these. Now I have everything in front of me, even then I won't get the time to play. So there you can see the PlayStation, right? We are almost towards the closure of all the emulators present. Again, PlayStation was among the last few emulators present, and again, a lot of games on this, right? And then finally, you also have the PlayStation Portable. So I have the PlayStation Portable, which I covered in one of my past videos. Again, very fond memory with that device. I didn't get it when the device was in its heyday, but yeah, I got it as a second-hand device somewhere in the year 2019, just as a memento. So that's how I have kept it till now. So that's what the device is. It feels premium. It has two micro SD slots, one for the system ROM along with games and one dedicated for games. You have the shoulder buttons along with two analog sticks and the regular D-pad and action buttons, right? So it feels colorful, it feels premium, it feels high quality, and I am really amazed that these developers and product manufacturers in China are able to develop something like this. So I'll quickly move into the Nintendo NES system, the very basic one which almost all of us are aware of, right? And I'll quickly open the Super Mario Brothers, and I would just let you listen to this famous tune, right, of Super Mario. It feels like a trip back into those nostalgic days, right? When I was, I think, some 12, 13 years old, or maybe less, right? I don't even recall what that time period was. And this is what we were playing. So this was one of the games that we played a lot. Then there was, I mean, amongst the free and system games that you got with when you purchased the console, right? Super Mario was one, Tank was one, Galaxian was one. So pinball was one. My father used to spend like hours and hours playing pinball. I mean, I don't know what pleasure or enjoyment he got out of it, but he would spend the whole day and night playing pinball, and my mom would just keep on shouting at him to come and help in the household chores or even to have his meal at time. So those were the days of my experience with the Nintendo console. It was very cheap, I think. Yeah, these were not the official consoles. Some cheap Chinese repops cost somewhere around 500 to 1000 bucks. So Duck Hunt was one again popular game, Clay Shoot and all. And then we also got to purchase these extra cassettes. So this and Nintendo, I just call Nintendo system. Please, someone can correct me if I am wrong, because I am not. I'm not someone who played those console as such at that time. I just played whatever I got, right? So now I'll quickly move into the PSP, because I already had done a dedicated video on the PSP, and I am very happy to say that it supports PSP. I mean, with excellent frame rates and with the keypad and the dual joysticks available, this makes the playing sensation even bit better. So I'll quickly open the GTA Vice City, one of the most popular games that have ever been made, right? It's an open world game, the first proper open world game that came up, and just spend the next few seconds enjoying and getting into the Vice City in playback mode, and just wait and watch the carnage I make when I played it after so long time. This was such a fun game. So I hope you had experienced enough of this carnage after, like, say, decades. This was the only open world game available at that time, so all of us played this a lot. Now let's moving to the other games that I liked on the PSP. Virtua Tennis was one of my favorites. So again, see, PSP is something that came out in the year I think 2004 or 5, and at that point of time, the kind of graphics this handheld had were just mind-boggling. And again, 20 years down the line, on a console made somewhere in a shady, let's say, factory somewhere in Shenzhen, the same console, this 3000 bucks worth console, being able to play this high definition game. And not only this, like this, over 10 20 emulators at the same time that can be loaded on a form factor like this, on a pocketable thing like this. It's just mind boggling how much the tech has changed, how much. I mean, Moore's law is the way it's working right now. This is actually the most visual proof of how tech has been changing over the period. Moving back to the R36S. Moving on, the consoles as well as the number of games are unlimited. Here you can see, right, this is Crash Nitro Bandicoot again on the PlayStation console. Just think about it. This thing used to run on a device that itself cost somewhere around 25-30,000 rupees. You needed a television and a different set of controllers to play this. The entire thing is running on this handheld device at just a fraction of the cost, which is cheaper than maybe the game ROM itself. So yeah, there you have it. So that's the device in front of you. I think anyone interested in collecting retro tech should definitely go for one. Well, come back in my future videos with more interesting content. Signing off. Thank you so much.